there is a lot of stuff to see here. Bosque de Chapultepec, Chapultepec Forest. Here is the Castillo Chapultepec. I'm glad I got to come down to this part of the park in the same design as one of the temples, the Mexica temples. Very cool spot. Welcome back, everyone. Mexico City, Ciudad de Mexico. We're back out today, and today we're out here on a beautiful morning. We're out here visiting the beautiful Bosque de Chapultepec. Bosque de Chapultepec, Chapultepec Forest, which is a beautiful urban forest, urban park, right here in like the heart of Ciudad de Mexico. And there's a lot of interesting and cool stuff to see here. And we're gonna walk around, take a little tour, and show you this beautiful park, this beautiful urban park that is a very, very popular location for the residents of la Ciudad de Mexico. So come along. Thanks for clicking on the video. If you want to help out the channel and help it grow, I really would appreciate it. Click on the like button down there, the subscribe button, and the little bell next to it to be notified for when new videos drop. It really helps the channel grow because it's going to help the YouTube algorithm recognize this content and spread it to other YouTube viewers. If you'd like to support the channel monetarily, I would appreciate that as well. You can leave a super thanks by clicking this thanks button here and give a small donation to the channel. I appreciate your support. So back to the video, enjoy. So we're out here today in the morning, a little earlier than we're normally out. Usually we're out filming in the afternoons, but today we're out in the morning. And as you can see here on the sign, there is a lot of stuff to see here, including the zoo, the Museo Nacional de Historia, and Museo de Sitio. There's a couple of lakes, large lakes that you can, I imagine, rent like a paddle boat and probably paddle around in. That's usually how it works with these parks. And one of the things that I want to see, now none of these things, unfortunately, in this video, we're going to be able to actually go in, because then if we ended up going into the museum or into the zoo or any of those things, this video would end up being like 3 hours long, and we're not going to be able to do that. But if there's something that's like particularly interesting that I think might make it for a good video, you know, its own video, we can make its own video. And I think we'll probably end up doing that because, like I said, there's a lot of interesting stuff in here. First off, a lot of vendors. A lot of vendors in here. You can see they're starting to open up, getting ready for the crowds that are to come probably later here in the afternoon. Here in the morning, still a little bit, like, not too crowded, pretty peaceful. Now, this is actually not the first time that I've been here to Bosque de Chapultepec. I came here actually on a Sunday, the first Sunday that we were here in Mexico City, just to walk around by myself and not make a video. And man, it was crowded on a Sunday afternoon, like on a nice day. This whole place was just packed with people. So much so that, like, it was kind of hard for me to it would have been kind of hard for me to film a video, honestly, especially because, like, I don't know, I don't always want to be like filming people, especially if they don't want to be filmed. I try my best not to do that if at all possible. I'm gonna sneak around this way. We can actually see here the Museo Chapultepec that is over there. Of course, when you get off the paths in this park, another thing I really like about it, so you can get off the paths a little bit, and there are so many trees in this park. This reminds me a lot of the Paseo del Bosque in La Plata, Argentina, where we visited. Another beautiful urban park with lots of things to see inside, stadiums, museums, stuff like that, but also just a ton of trees. And when you walk even just a little bit off the trail, you really feel like you're in a forest. But here is the Castillo Chapultepec, Castle Chapultepec. There's the opening sort of gatehouse here
where you pay to enter, because this is a museum now. And there's the castle up there on the hill. It is an antique, like a very old castle that's been there for hundreds of years up on top of the hill. It served a lot of different purposes in the past, including being the home of like nobles, Emperor Maximilian, and some of the early presidents, President Benito Juarez and Porfirio Diaz lived in that castle. But now it is a museum, the Museo Nacional de Histórica, the National Historical Museum. And I think we will probably end up making a video about that, because that's kind of what we do on this channel. We do history stuff a lot, because I'm really interested in it. But let's keep walking through the park, take a look at some of these vendors. Like I said, we're here a little bit early in the morning, so everybody's starting to set up all the vendors. I imagine here, even on a weekday in the afternoon, this area here is going to be very, very crowded with people out enjoying the day. I think we head over this way. We can head over towards the two lakes. There are these two beautiful lakes that have this big wide bridge running in between the two of them. It's a really nice spot. When I was here on Sunday, that spot was super, super crowded, and there were just tons of people out paddle boating around on the lakes. And like I said, when you get off of the trails, they have these big paths. They're over there. You can see the vendors along that path that we were on before, and the vendors line that path the whole way. When you get off the path a little bit, you can just walk through the actual forest part. There's tons of trees. It's very, very dense how many trees there are in here. I really, really like a park like this, where they've kept a lot of the trees, where there's certainly, places, paths you can walk on, and they have attractions that you can see. They have activities that you can do, but there's also just like a forest, that's still here, which is I think why it's not referred to as Parque Chapultepec. It's Bosque de Chapultepec, which bosque means forest. And over here, it's a nice spot where you could come over, maybe spread out a blanket or something, have a little picnic, and feel, even though you can hear like music coming from the vendors over there, and the other walking path is just like right over there. You could, at least in the middle of a city, feel a little bit like you're in a forest. Well, we arrive here at the lakes, and what I thought honestly was a bridge going across, but it's actually just like a thin strip of land. I don't think the lakes connect underneath. I don't know, maybe they do. But when you walk across it, it feels like a wide bridge across a single lake here. It's a beautiful spot. Really, really nice. And lakes on both sides. You can go down here actually real quick. I didn't get a chance to do this when I was here before. And we can see, oh, actually, you know what? I think maybe this is a true bridge. Maybe the water does go through. But beautiful spot. some sort of heron or crane, water bird, hunting for its breakfast. Yeah, it looks like it is a bridge. Look at this. So I was right. A beautiful bridge that crosses the lake. And up here, a pretty view of the other lake with part of the city skyline behind it. The CDMX sign for Ciudad de Mexico, so you can like take a picture for the gram. And over on the other side here, paddle boat rental, where you can rent paddle boats and you can paddle boat your way around. This crazy flock of birds out here today. Out like, I don't know, hunting morning insects. Jeez, look at this. This is unexpected. I did not expect to see this. Wonder what kind of birds these are. I don't know if this is coming through on the video, but there is like this huge flock of birds that are just cruising around above this lake. And every so often they're like swooping down onto the surface of the lake. It looks like they're hunting insects. Crazy. They look kind of like swallows, or I don't even know. If anybody knows, anybody down in the comments knows what kind of birds these are, let me know, because this is pretty cool. I didn't expect this. I hope this comes through on the video. Anyway, there. It's the paddle boat rental, where you can paddle boat your way around. I think you can rent rowboats also, because there's at least a couple people out there in rowboats. And like I mentioned, there's a lot of things to do here in the park as well. In addition to the museum that we saw, the Museo Castillo de Chapultepec, the historic history museum. There's also an anthropology museum here that I think actually used to be located in a different place. I think it was located down in El Centro before and eventually moved here, but there is a large anthropology museum. There is also like a cultural center that is also a museum that I think has like lots of information about the presidents of Mexico. I was talking with my Uber driver on the way over here, and he was mentioning that as an interesting spot here in the park, or in the El Bosque. But as we see, we can go past all the vendors here as they set up, and further down we can turn and head this way, and we can get up towards the zoo, which I think is also probably a very very popular place to go, especially on on a day off, on a Saturday or a Sunday. That's something I would maybe like to see. You know, when we were in Medellín, Colombia, in our last city where we went and visited the Parque de la Conservación, which is a zoo there in Medellín, and I really enjoyed that. It was really nice. I don't usually go to zoos, but I really enjoyed that one, and I don't know, it's giving me sort of like a Jones or an urge to go see the zoo here and see what it's like, see how it compares really to the zoo in Medellín. So maybe we'll do that. Not today, of course. Like I said, this video would be 3 hours long, 4 hours long if we tried to see all the things that there were here. There's also an art museum here, which is actually back by the gate where we entered. where we entered the park, an art museum. I think it's a modern art museum. So definitely a lot of very, very interesting things to see here in the park. It's a place where you could come and just go for a walk, you know, enjoy a nice like a nice morning walk or afternoon walk. It's also a place where you could just come and hang out with people, but also a place where you keep coming back to see, you know, all the things that there are here. Yeah, so it looks like the zoo is up this way. You know what, before we go to the zoo, I kind of want to go over to a couple of places that I haven't yet seen, and that is the Fuente de las Ranas and Fuente de Nazahualcóyotl. Because I didn't get a chance to see those on Sunday. Like I said, it was very, very crowded here on Sunday. So let's go over there and check those out, and then maybe we'll loop back and see the zoo. So here we are down in the sort of western part of the park. That, I think, may be the fountain that we were looking for. And there's also a carousel over here, which I think, of course, is closed now, but when it's open, you could ride the carousel. You could perhaps attempt to hand feed some squirrels. There's the carousel. And the fountain over here, I think this was the, what was this? The Fountain de las Ranas? Which I think ranas is like frogs. Am I right? Yeah, it looks like there's lots of frogs on this fountain. It's a frog fountain. This is actually nice. I don't know, I got the feeling it would be bigger, but it's just quite nice. Very cool. Let's continue on. We'll see that other fountain, and then we can loop back and we can check out where the zoo is located here in the park. Well, this is the other fountain, I think, which is right across from where the frog fountain is over there. And this is much bigger. I think this is the fountain. Either way, whatever this is, it's very beautiful. Wow, it's impressive. It goes all the way down there, and there's some sort of a building or edifice back at the other end. Really nice. There's these carvings up on here on the side of the fountain. Conservación de I can't read it. It's unfortunately it's too faded for me to be able to read. I read Corona, and it looks like someone's being crowned. Corona means crown in Spanish. Yeah, it looks like all of these reliefs here are telling a story. Introducción del agua de Chapultepec a Tenochtitlan. So the introduction of water from Chapultepec into Tenochtitlan, the city, the ancient Mexica or Aztec city of Tenochtitlan. Very interesting. Yeah, this is beautiful. This is a really beautiful spot. I'm glad we got to come here. I'm glad I got to come down to this this part of the park because, like I said, I missed it when I was here visiting by myself. It's very cool. Now look at this statue over here. It's this huge statue of, I don't know who, but of a Mexica or Aztec, I don't know, very famous person, king.
This statue, of course, is the statue of Netzahualcoyotl. Netzahualcoyotl is who this fountain is named after. He was actually the king of the city-state of Texcoco, one of the 3 city-states in the Triple Alliance that made up the Aztec Empire. And he's famous for a lot of public works during his governance, specifically having to do with water, including an aqueduct that brought water from Chapultepec Forest into the city of Tenochtitlan, which makes sense why they have a fountain here named after him.
Very cool. And these like reliefs up here too. Very cool. They have these like braziers. Those are very similar to like the actual braziers that we saw on the in the Templo Mayor Museum. It's very cool. They've designed it to look very much like in the same design as one of the temples, the Mexica temples. Very cool. Very cool spot. All right. I think now we can head back towards the center of the park. We'll go by the spot where the zoo is and show you there. And I think that'll probably do it for this video. We've seen a good part of the park. I definitely want to see the location where the zoo is because I don't know. I get the feeling like maybe we're gonna do a video from the zoo because, like I said, I'm interested to see how it compares to the zoo in Medellín. But let's head back there and we'll check that spot out. So heading up the path now towards the zoo, and it's right on the left side here. And we can already hear some of these zoo residents giving us a morning greeting. Some sort of monkey. You hear that? Wonder if we can see him through the I don't know, like past this fence over here. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know exactly how close to the outer fence the exhibits get. You can definitely hear him though. Yeah, I can't see anything over there. I mean, I can tell there's something in there, but you hear that? Anyway, up here, I think is where the entrance is. Yeah, right here. Zoo Aventuras Chapultepec. There it is. There's the zoo. Entrance to the zoo right here. And I think maybe we'll come back. We'll come back here some other day and we'll check out the zoo and see what it's like. But that is where it is. And here we're sort of at the northwest corner of the park. We started over by the eastern side of the park and we made our walk all the way across. I think this is a good place to end the video. We saw a good amount of the park. We saw some things that maybe we'll come back and see. Maybe we'll come back and see later in later videos. But it's just a nice taste of a beautiful, beautiful urban park, Bosque de Chapultepec, a place where I think a lot of people residents of the city like to come. I would love to come here if I lived in this city. I'd come here pretty often. But I think that's going to be it for this video. Really hope you enjoyed our tour here of Bosque Chapultepec. Stay tuned. There's lots more coming from here in Mexico City. And we'll see you in the next one.